Well, Eric, a good win, 3 points. What are your thoughts after that?
Solid win, I would say. Really focused, really concentrated from start to finish.
Was there a slight worry that you didn't get the game won with more of a gap earlier on?
Not a worry, but you have to get the second goal, then life gets more easy. And we created a lot, but we didn't score. First, late on in the game, and I think we already should have closed it early on. Because always is the threat that you make one mistake and you get the equalizer, so you have to avoid that.
With the ball, I didn't think we looked after the first pass well enough, and you could see that on the first goal. There were times where we needed to show a bit better quality and more composure just to make a few passes, because when we did, we got into some half decent areas.
2 congratulations, 100 Manchester United games and a first Premier League goal. That's how to mark it.
Yeah, I think it's a happy day for me. Very happy to get this achievement, to play for this club. It's always a pleasure. It's a good number and a better way to celebrate it with a goal.
For me, it's a definite penalty with Harry Maguire, and then a second yellow and a red. I'm not going to go too much on that's why we haven't won today and what the league position we're in, but I think it's a terrible decision. How VAR have not picked that up is another bad weekend for them.
Well, we'll come on to whether that was a penalty or not in just a moment. But Manchester United had a real control of that game, particularly their midfield, and also not the first choice midfield for that game because Sabitzer was injured in the warm-up.
Yeah, so Eriksen gets called in. I think he gets a tap on his shoulder throughout the warm-up, and I think it's a great example for any player out there. You've always got to be ready. And we see the midfield, a top performance. Casemiro, Fernandes, Eriksen. Casemiro sitting with Fernandes and Eriksen a little bit higher, but I just thought they were brilliant. I really did. Obviously, Eriksen there with the ball round the corner, and particularly Fernandes, Eriksen, I felt like they were just had them connections all day. Look at Eriksen, he doesn't stop. He's passed that ball out. He's willing to get on the end of it, and maybe he should have took that shot. And here we see Eriksen, ball round the corner. I've got to question Nottingham Forest defending there. But again, Eriksen, he doesn't stop. There he goes again, and this has to be pulled back for me. Got to have the vision to find him there. But I just thought them two in particular, the connections were so good all day. You see here, they've got that freedom within the framework. Fernandes, he doesn't stay central. He recognises the spaces on the outside. Look, I'll take it, plays it in, and always looking to create a chance. This looks like basics, but I think just that pass and move element all the time. Eriksen's come over to the same side, pass, move, can I get a cross in? Maybe a little bit better of an execution, but I thought they were so good, I really did, and I think Casemiro just sitting kind of allowed them to go and play their own game. Here you see, I think it's Fernandes this time. Look, I'm going to make the box. Eriksen, can you find us? Of course I can. I've been finding you all day. Little touch, little ball into the box, and yeah, he's unlucky with the header. And I think I do actually have to highlight Navas here. I thought he made some brilliant saves, but there you go, Eriksen to Fernandes again. And then Fernandes is like, here you go, Eriksen, I'll repay the favour. But I must say, Navas, I thought, was brilliant in goal. I think without him, it could have been 4 or 5 today.
There's no set role, is there, for Fernandes or Eriksen, though? It's not like they both have a channel. They seem to go wherever they want, and that's partly because of Casemiro knowing where to be to cover them. And you look at that combination of the three of them together.
Yeah, I think Casemiro, just by holding, just allowed them to add a number where they wanted to. They're very intelligent footballers, so you don't want to be telling them where to go. I think they read where the space was, they went and added a number, maybe if it was in them false full-backs areas, or they went and joined in the box. So I thought it was a top midfield performance. Let's
look at another handball, shall we? We did it for the first game, might as well do this one. Look, Steve Cooper, as far as say this would be a second yellow and a red for Maguire as well as a penalty. Is it a penalty?
I was surprised it wasn't given, and I think there was something about what he said which I think kind of misses the point a little bit, because he said he's surprised that they've missed that. I don't think they've missed it. I think they've seen it and decided that that's fine. But that's the thing which I don't understand. Like, why is that fine? We saw earlier with the handball in the Arsenal game, but then with this one, with Antonio, but with this one, I don't understand why it's not.
VAR said they looked at it, and because it was a congested area,
just the box.
Well, because it was,
the 18-yard box,
but it was three Manchester United players together. Yeah. But because of that congestion, that's why they didn't give it.
I did feel like there was a lot going on. See, when I played, I was all limbs as well, so I'm kind of going to stick up for Harry Maguire here. But, yeah, obviously the ball does hit his arm, but it is a congested area.
Do you think it's almost as if the ref hasn't seen it, which is fair enough from whatever angle he is at, but VAR have gone, well, if the ref hasn't given it, we don't feel we can overturn it. Whereas the ref has probably not seen it and thought, well, if it is going to be a penalty, we'll let VAR overturn it.
Us to get into the mind of referees.
Yeah, I am. That's right. I tell you what,
referees and goalkeepers, I can't help you, I'm afraid. I cannot help you.
As far as Nottingham Forest are concerned, yet again, we're just talking about the inability to score.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's a shame for them because their home form was something that was giving them hope not that long ago. And I think when you see the way this game started with that football, like American football tackle there from Harry Maguire.
That was a yellow.
It was a yellow. You know, he's saying he was pulled, maybe he was. But when somebody's on a yellow card like that, this is the type of thing which I would have expected to see more. Obviously, this ball goes out of play, but it's going to apply the pressure. Just sometimes, you know, I think Cooper himself said they wanted his team to play more, but then here's the chance to play as well. You play it back into the box, look for a pass, but when you're trying to half volley from 40 yards out when you're right-footed, it's probably not going well for you. But then there are moments like this where I thought, OK, this is a nice bit of play, nice link-up. You see Nico Williams driving forward. Can you play the ball into a one-knee? Well, no, not quite. How about to the back post? This is the crowd getting excited because something's going to happen. But unfortunately for them, it's these sort of moments of, like, negativity, unfortunately, that affect them. Because within the space of 10 seconds, you go from being in the final third with good tempo to the ball being back at your defenders. And when you're a side that doesn't score a ton of goals, less likely to score from there. And this, I don't mind the fact they're trying to get in behind. Obviously, it ended up being offside, but then that's what we unfortunately had to see from them today. And it got to a point where in the second half, this is one of the exciting moments. Nico Williams running forward again and getting a deflection, gets a corner. And that meant a lot to them because that's somebody taking the ball forward and giving the crowd something to be excited about. But 24 goals, it kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it?
24 goals. Brian Johnson leading the way with 8. There aren't many others who are contributing. Steve Cooper talks about a lack of composure, but that's not down to their league position, he says.
No, I think midfielders need to chip in with goals. I'm watching them today and I'm not sure what they're trying to do, what the plan is. Are they playing possession-style football? Are they trying to hit teams on the counter? So, yeah, I think in terms of goals, they can't rely just on one player.
It's still a bit of a muddle, isn't it? I mean, I know Nottingham Forest fans must be sick of us having these discussions about the number of players that have come in, but it is a muddle.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I think what makes it worse is that whatever combination you kind of see them go for, it doesn't really work. It seems like Brennan Johnson has done well. Oni was doing well for a while before he got injured. But again, they didn't look that dangerous today. When you see the fact that those two were up there and Gibbs White with the creativity behind it, well, what did they create? The answer is very little. And I think that is some sort of an alarm because this Man United defence today is the one which most Man United fans are uncomfortable with, yet still overall they didn't really feel that much sort of pressure, especially going to a place like the City Ground, which should be a tough place to get points.
Right.